All right, everybody's back. Yeah, let me just see if I can turn this a little bit. Everybody, I guess I won't go through all the calls there. I'll probably just go to around 5:15, 5:30. So we'll see what we talk about. The things that I wanted to go over, obviously, our stocks. NIXX closed. It hasn't closed, but when I just looked, NIXX was up 9 cents at 182. I don't think you should worry there. I don't know what's going to happen with the price of the stock, but I think they have to follow on with the news they've already had, and I think it has to come over the next 2 or 3 weeks or 4 weeks. What is today, April 2nd? Yeah, I guess it has to happen in April and maybe early April. I don't know. But anyway, NIXX, the chart, I can show you a chart. In fact, I should do that. I can find it here. No, that's not it. Darn it. Oh, here it is. Okay. So let me see if I can screw anything else up. Let me show you the chart on NIXX that a friend of mine sent me. Friend of yours, too. See if it comes up. But anyway, so NIXX, it traded at 182 when I looked at it. And here's the chart, which does look like it's acting very well. It's coming above the moving average. I don't know what number of days that is. And if it can break through here, I can't quite read that price, but I'm going to guess that's right around $1.85 range. If it breaks 185, 186, I think it's headed to that gap there. It's going to fill that gap, and then hopefully go higher. But I wouldn't get impatient with that one. And then Finger was up 6 cents at 146, and GBUX is down 8 cents at 592. While I'm here, I guess we can go over what was on the truck. This 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 is on the truck. Oh, I got to take that down. Okay. Who is this? And just insults over here, my guy. Thanks for all you do. CJ Wiles crushing me, so I bought a little more. That I like. I like that. That's what I would do, unless I had a better idea as a trade. And uh, but that's how I would do it. If you're feeling like it's crushing you, the story hasn't changed. It's almost like you get your Irish up and you say, "Screw it, I'm going to buy more," but only do that if the story hasn't changed, you know. But I think CJ, I like what you're doing with CJ Williams. I commend you on that. I think that will pay off. I don't know when, but that's the trick. We don't know when. Those guys the other day in Magoo who made 200 million or whatever the heck they made, they knew it's corruption. But, you know, I'm getting tired of pointing out that Adina Friedman should go work at a nail salon. That's insulting just because she's a woman. She should go work at she should be a high school teacher or something. Yeah, she doesn't deserve where she is. But that's the same thing you can say about Robert Cook and Cromwell. They are not, well, you know, another way to look at it is they're there as representatives of their true paymasters, who are the banksters, the Stevie Cohens, the Carlyle groups, the Citadels, the Goldman Sachs, et cetera, et cetera. And in that sense, I guess they're doing just fine. Yeah, I interact. I'm so good at that interaction sometimes. It's not one of my strong points. Not one of my strong points. So let's see. So those are the stocks. If I had to prioritize them, which is always a moving target, my way, it would be right now anyway, in my life, it would be the risk reward. And I think NIXX is, let's use a fortnight. Let's use 2 weeks for all 4 stocks. Let's just say maybe by Easter. That's 3 weeks. Let's say by Easter. I think NIXX will have done whatever it's got to do in terms of following up on these announcements, and we'll get a pretty good idea if that makes buyers come in. But the price is so reasonable that I think the risk reward looks very good in NIXX. I feel that same way about Railtown. Railtown, I just don't see in a trading sense. Obviously anything can ever happen, as ever, as Meghan Markle calls her firm, as ever. Eva. You all right? Whatever. Anyway, the Railtown, I think, is just a screaming buy. No one's buying, so everyone's sitting on their hands, and it's just to me, it's just sitting on sale. I think the one risk in Railtown is that the Bureau of whatever in Canada decides that it's anti-competitive, and it takes 2 more weeks. I mean, I think it'll still all get approved because they got some powerful attorneys, and I don't think it is anti-competitive. But I think, as one friend of mine said, he kind of put it this way: once they get that news out, whatever it is, Do you see what I'm saying with Railtown? It isn't so much what the news is to me. This is my thinking. It's that the buyers can buy. Finally, whatever it is announced, and the buyers can buy. And a friend of mine said, when they make that announcement, it's going to be something. It's going to be really something. The stock should go off the rails. Up, he meant. Up, he meant. Benjamin, thank you. I took a couple of them down yesterday. It's that what they do is they'll try everything. They have one goal. They have one goal. And this is a theory that I've been it popped in my head and I blurted it out on a phone call, and the guy I was talking to thought I was being a complete jerk because I cut him off, and I don't know why I do that sometimes. But it occurs to me, and it makes it very hard to know who to trust. But there's some guys out there that have come on the spaces, like the tambourine man, the drum major. It's my billion-dollar fight against the shorts. They need us to be essentially the first one in the pool. I never did a deal, never raised money for a deal where there didn't have to be somebody going in the pool first. Because the New York guys, let's just say the New York guys, as opposed to London, Chicago, San Francisco, wherever, they don't want to put the money up until there's a buffer there in price, and there's someone taking risk. Then they come in with their complicated, formulaic, big words, prospectus, presentation, and all of it. It's all crap. It all breaks down to, we're not taking any risk. We're going to collateralize. We're going to have control. We're going to backstop our investment. We're going to cheat. And if it ever comes down to it, we're going to take the asset from you. And in the meantime, guys like us come in early, and we provide the buffer. And so that's one thing, is I think these shorts, these people that come on here, they need us. They need us driving the stock up so they have something they can steal. How does it feel to be on your own, no direction home, to be scrounging your next meal? How does it feel? So we create the equity they can steal. And when they do private deals with these companies, I've seen it over and over again in the oil business. Not only do they take that equity, they take the asset, and they get fees around it all over again. Guys, it's someone else's party, and we're not even invited to it. So the other thing these guys come on to do is they have one goal. They might have a position they haven't closed out yet. They want you to sell. They want to distract you because they need to move on from their positions, and they want you to think that I'm an idiot. Well, I'll admit that. I'll admit I'm an idiot, but they don't have feelings, these guys. They can't be dissuaded. I think when they deal with us, I think they see us as almost sub-godlike, subhuman almost. We're just the host that they can feast off of. Anyway, I deleted a couple of them because they come on like a friend, and then they say shit. Or they come on hard, like I'd respect them more if they just came on for who they are. But I can't tell the difference from one or the other, so if I make a mistake, I make a mistake. All right. I do want to talk to you. A lot of you guys, what time is it? 3:57. I'll let the stocks close and then I'll go back. I'll give it 10, 15 minutes so I can go back and get the closing prices. But a lot of you guys ask me, where should I buy silver? What should I buy? And I always say the same thing. If you haven't done it yet, if you don't have a position, and John sent me a Time Life video. It wasn't Time Life. I just knew somebody that worked at Time Life video. Really, Bill, I do care. Anyway, the thing I think is the key starting point, while it's still available, is what I call junk silver, what John calls constitutional silver. And I'm telling you, I've been through this before. That's what will disappear first. And then there'll be premiums on it. So you can buy junk silver, the premiums go up, and if you're Jack B. Nimble, Jack B. Quick, you can call in. If you didn't open the bag, you can say, I have, a $50 bag of whatever the hell, or a $100 bag of whatever the hell I want to sell. Well, we'll give you this, and you might be able to sell it for $20 or $30. And well, that's probably ridiculous. And a man in my position cannot be made to look ridiculous. Now, it would depend. If let's say silver starts trading at 100, 120, you might be able to sell those ounces of silver $15, $20 premium per ounce. Could be higher. And then you take that and you go buy coins. It's hard for me to create a hypothetical, but those bags, once they become unobtainable, you'll read about how you go down to the bank and you ask the bank if they have any silver dimes. Brother, can you spare a dime? But let me show you what I think you should buy, if I have it here. No, of course I don't. Of course I don't. Why would I be prepared? Why would I prepare in advance? I know why, because I have to take these things down. I have to make room for further information. But anyway, for the silver, this is what I would recommend right here. As a starting point. I'd order it. I'd have it. I'd receive it at home. Don't tell anybody. Throw it in the laundry room, or throw it in the back of your closet. But at APMEX, APMEX. Sorry, you can't quite see that, but that's APMX. It's American Precious Metals Exchange, APMEX. For example, this is 90% silver coins, constitutional coins, $50 face value, and it costs $1,300. It's $1.29 per ounce over spot. I have no idea. I should have looked it up, but I bet that's 35 ounces of silver. I would get. I could be wrong on that. Anyway, they'll tell you how much silver it is. I didn't look it up. But anyway, you buy this. You buy a few of them if you can stand it. Problem is, if I'm early on this timing, it'll sit in the back of your closet forever. But do you see they come in the form of quarters, which you recognize, dimes, which you recognize. And if society falls apart and you kept your mouth shut, no one's going to steal these from you. But you can buy a gallon of gasoline. You can buy a dinner, or you can buy a train ride out, bus ride out, truck ride out. Um, but let's not go to the extremes. Let's just talk about trading. Do you see right here where it says only $1.29 per ounce over spot? That could go to $12. That could go to $20. And my opinion, the spread on these constitutional coins will be higher for a while than other silver products. So you could sell it, go buy the other product, and whatever it is, own more silver. Anyway, so that's one thing I wanted to show you. One thing I wanted to show you. Oh, God. I can't stand it. I can't stand it. I'm so mad at my mother. She called me up the other day, and she said she needed help moving her weights to the attic. And I said, excuse me. So yesterday, guess what was up yesterday? The MAGA 7. Tesla was up, Meta was up, Amazon was up, Google was up, Nvidia was up, Microsoft was up, Apple was up. I think that the correction that we've been in the middle of is on the verge of ending. And I think I'm trying to look where the S&P is right now. I don't know. It's around, I don't know where. Let me look. S&P 500 today. Yeah, all right. I was going to say 5,700. I was pretty close. 5,670. I think the S&P is going to add 2,000 points. 2,000 points in the next period of time. All right, let me go to your comments. See. Don't pay over spot. Wow. So John knows what he's talking about. He has studied this, and you can go to a coin store and buy this junk, sorry, constitutional silver, not to be confused with junk silver, or with your morning constitutional. Silver, he can buy it for spot, so you're not paying even $1, and that sounds great. So if you can find a local store, how would you sell back if you wanted to? Well, once you've bought, and if you paid on time, you've got I don't know if you have a gold star next to your name, but you might have a blue star. But when you call in, they're going to tend to trust you because you paid on time before. You call in, you say, I have such and such. As long as you don't open it, you can turn that around probably in 48 hours. You wait online. Somebody very nice comes on from Oklahoma. She'll say, all right, what do you have? Hang on. And then she'll, okay, we can give you blank. And you say, really? Okay, I'll take it. And then she sends you I don't know, 2-3 page thing by email. You sign it, send it back, and she sends you a mail order. You know, what do you call it? A UPS that's what it is, a pre-addressed sticker or whatever. So she'll send it to you. They pay for it. They pay for it. So it's coming out of your proceeds. But you go down to UPS, or they'll do it through the post office, or maybe they'll do it with one of the other overnight exchanges. But my memory is they prefer UPS. I'm trying to remember now, but whatever, they'll tell you. So they'll give you the label. If you haven't taken anything out, you put it in a box, make sure it's secure, wrap it in brown paper, or at least tape it well, put that sticker on, go down to UPS store and get that sucker in the mail. And it goes overnight, and you will receive probably it'll take 1 day to get there. So the day following, depending on their volume, if you're one of their trusted customers, if you didn't open the package, you overnight it, they'll wire the money to you wherever you want. So within 2 days. Now, when it gets busy, it'll take longer. If it's not the end of the world if you open things. It just means that they have to count it. So that'll go to the back of the sklad or the back of the workroom, and it'll get done in a week. Well, I agree with you, David. John's point is well taken. If you have a relationship with a local coin store, you can buy more silver. That's the bottom line. For a guy like me, who used to be footloose and fancy free, whatever that means, I didn't ever build that relationship. I was traveling, whatever. And for me, paying that premium's worth it. It's all systematized. AppMex is the Sears Roebuck catalog of silver. Now, the other ones I like, and I'll try to show, if you're going to buy coins, I really like Mike Maloney's company. I don't know if you can see that. You probably can't. Gold Silver. I like his company very much. He's an honorable guy. And I'm starting to like this guy, Andy Schleckman. I've never done business with Miles Franklin, but I've always heard of him. And, if I had money, I'd give it a try. My view is, David, maybe having more than one place where they think you're a good client protects you if something goes wrong. You never know. I did business with one company, and right now I forget the name of it. I bought a lot, and then I had to sell because I got in a real estate deal. But he went bankrupt. He got into real trouble. He's gone. But he was a nice guy. He tried to do it all himself. He was honest. That's the case. I like SD Bullion too. SD Bullion. They have some esoteric coins, and anyway, we can talk about some of the other places. There's a lot of places, but anyway, DBMM is up. So, all right, everybody, run to DBMM. Let me look at it. I like the what the CO is. Yeah, it is. It's up. It's 0.0025. Does it have a bid? Oh, it closed at 0.0033, up 83%. That's a nice move. What's the volume? 576. They made a presentation. Yeah, but you gotta on DBMM, you've got to just realize they've got that thing under control. No, but John's oh, that's interesting. See, guys, this guy's giving you good advice. So if you open the bag and I never had the interest, but if you go, I guess you can get one of these guides online. You might find a coin in there that's worth multiples of its silver value. So John's all about, what he's about, it seems like, is maximizing your return. And why not? Why not? My goofy Fibonacci sequence. The Fibonacci sequence is everywhere, and I had a friend. She said to me, "Everything cycles." I looked at her like, "God, that's so simplistic," but it's true. Everything cycles. But the Fibonacci sequence is very interesting in nature and in behavior. So it's better than nothing. That's my framework. Today I put the order in at it didn't happen, of course. Put it in 132 because I figure these guys are looking and they're going to try to make sure I don't get my price. But they won't have anything to do with GBUX, I don't think. All right, so I covered that. Yeah, I want to best prices. You always got to go to the best prices, but wait, don't buy yet. We also have best prices is not always my goal. I think it's important to be diversified. Schlechtman, Miles Franklin, was interviewing or having a discussion. I think it was with Rick Rule, but and again, I think it's Montana. So when I get the information together, I'll confirm it. I think it's Montana. They treat coins as, this is my memory. I better be careful, because if I'm wrong, you guys are going to say I'm making it up. But what I remember is they don't trace it. It's money. Anyway, there's advantages to storing precious metals in Montana, I think. I will confirm that and look it up. Dealing with gold, silver, they have a lot of education, and he's a kind, honest guy, and he goes through all the ramifications of all decisions with you. And anyway, one of the problems is, where do you put your silver? It's heavy as hell. You can't transport it. If you tell your wife and she tells a friend and they tell a friend, and all of a sudden gasoline's $50 a gallon, there's no flights out, and you're trying to get out before the mob comes to your neighborhood. someone's going to steal the silver. So it's just really tough. And then if you say, okay, I'm going to store it, where do you store it? You store it it's in a storage facility in the middle of, I don't know, Indiana, and there's these big roving mobs of people. Is a guard going to stand there and protect the silver? Probably not. So you have to be careful, and it's a lot of thinking, and you can never get it right. So having more than one jurisdiction might make sense too. And if it's all in the United States, what if it's nationalized? Well, then maybe in Canada, but Canada's a bunch of El Tenidos. So maybe Hong Kong, but Hong Kong is now controlled by China. Well, Singapore, but Singapore might be taken. How about Switzerland? Yeah, but Switzerland's gone woke. I don't know. You can't get it 100% right. So what do? You spread it out. So if you lose a little bit, at least you have the rest. And but anyway, we're talking about your first position I think it should be constitutional. I like what John's recommending. All the websites are very similar. Well, yeah, they're all similar because they're all selling the same thing. And you got to avoid getting excited by, wow, you can buy the new kangaroo or the new elephant at a such and such. If they give a good markup, okay, but don't overpay. Look, if you buy silver right now trading at $35 and there's a $3 premium, you're paying $38, 35, 38, 35 plus 3, 38. You're not going to get that back, ceteris paribus, if you sell. Its premium is commission. Premium is cost of doing business. If prices change, but not by much, you might get a little bit of it back. But it's a haircut. And I know I need one. But if, let's say I'm correct, and silver over the next 3 years goes, I think it could happen a lot more quickly, but it goes to $350 or $380. I don't think they're going to be charging $30 above spot per coin. They might be, but the competition will be high. It'll depend on supply and demand. But let's not get distracted about that. If silver starts trading at $380 an ounce, that $3 premium is not going to matter to you that you paid 38 instead of 35. But it's a big if. What John's trying to teach you to do, and I agree with him, is to try to maximize how many ounces you own. And that's why I wouldn't buy things with too much premium minimum. And John's idea is perfect. If the local a local coin store is not charging spot, they must have bought it obviously underneath. Yeah, it's brilliant. It's brilliant. When the mania hits, they won't have any silver for sale. In fact, you will be bringing your mother's silver set in to sell it. Yep, yep. It's and guys like Arca and anyway, a couple of the people that have been in with us who do technical trading, they do everything on Fibonacci sequences, and it always works because the other side's computers are set up that way. What I'm suggesting by picking a price out in the future, it's not as scientific as their day trading. But what else the heck are you going to use? Don't get an MBA from Farron University. Ham has taught a lot. What you learn from Ham is how Wall Street used to be, and I think will be again. But right now it's all computers talking to each other. But I really, if I had access to that kind of color and information of what's going down at the trading desk, it would have helped me make money, I think, back when I was young. Raiden, I'm here. That's what I'm here for, to make your day, your wait for your kids. I'm glad to do it. I'm glad to do it. All right, now I need to try to get this in a format that you can see and I can explain. Okay. All right, and then this one. It's very interesting. A comment that I made to you guys. These are just 3 or 4 of the charts of an article I'm going to read to you on gold, and I got to do it quickly because I've only got 50 minutes. I'll do it much more quickly than that. You don't have to withdraw your money out of your 401k to buy silver. You can move your 401k to a self-directed IRA, which is what your brokerage firm calls yours, but it's not really self-directed. And buy silver, I'm trying to remember the name of the one. There's several out of Chicago. But what I would do, Julie, even though it's not quite the same thing, I would just buy Sprott PSLV, the Physical Silver Trust, PSLV. Physical, S is in silver, L is in silver, V is in silver. Physical SLV. And you'll get all the move, and you can do it in your 401k. The Sprott concept, and I like him very much. I've never met him, but the Sprott concept, he's a billionaire, but he's down to earth, Canadian. His concept is to put allocated silver into his ETF. And he, in fact, has a link that you can go to, and he provides the numbers of the bars that are held in the vaults on behalf of his ETFs. And I first showed you guys that it was $7.78 or something. I think it's $12 today. But what's interesting, I don't know if it's still the case, but it always trades a little bit at a discount to the silver price. I don't know why. Obviously, there's some fees, but you can get the move in silver with that. Now the negative of buy that we all have to face is our financial institutions could go down. So it just gets it makes your head swim trying to think of all the angles of how you can protect, and that's why probably the single biggest thing you could do is stay in good shape. Make sure you can walk 2 miles if you had to, 3 miles, 5 miles. Try to keep the weight off, which I have a hard time doing when my diet isn't always that good. Uh, if you can get away with it, stop drinking, because what is coming is going to require clear-headed thought. I don't know when it's coming, but when it comes, it's essentially for the rest of your life. It'll be, I don't know, 15, 20, 25 years before we may get to some semblance of what was before, but I don't even think that. I think we're going to have a new economic life, and it'll be okay. There'll be happiness. We forget how much happiness. I was just talking, I had an appointment this morning, which I couldn't break, and we went for a quick repast, a nosh, and I've made the point before. The first time I heard it was from a guy named Graham Hancock, and he just said, we have to be so grateful for being born on this blue planet, this green planet. It's just, every day we should be celebrating that. And I could add into it, in Turkey, there's these underground cities, and I'm sure you know of places elsewhere. When I was in Jordan, I visited underground, I don't know, caves of some kind. It was interesting. Sat and had tea forever. But I always wondered why people live underground. Was it because there were, I don't know, reptiles up above or something, or big I don't know, big wolves they were trying to get away from? Or was it because our climate was not always this calm? No one can know, but maybe there were, maybe the winds and the climate maybe wasn't as calm as it is today. I don't know. We assume it's always been this way. We don't know, but that's another thing. Imagine we live in a place where the air is just mostly peaceful. We're lucky to be alive, and that'll still be there. So I'm not trying to say it's all going to be doom and gloom. I just think there's big changes ahead. You got to be thinking. You got to be in fighting shape. Let me show you. Let me first get the article up so I can read part of it. I'll try to be quick. 4:30. I've got to be quick. So maybe I had one other thing I wanted to show you. I'll save that for another day. My service is so slow. There it is. God, the tariffs come on today, by the way. Bank of America is raising its gold target. Where did you hear it? Did you have to wait for Merrill Lynch to tell you? All right, let me find this. Where is it? See, I should have saved the article. Mama, don't let your babies grow up to be cowboys. Sorry, I'll find it. I thought I had it saved, but when I hung up, I started using my phone. All right. Maybe it's down here. I may not be able to share this article with you because I can't find it. Oh, I'm looking in the wrong place. I'm looking in the wrong place. I think. I can't find it, guys. All right, so I'll just show you the charts. I can't find the article. But I will show you the charts. Where is this article? Where is this article? Maybe it's here. All right, I passed over it. It's the Bank of America article. Bank of America is now saying that gold could go to 3,120. No, is that what they're saying? And Goldman is saying that gold could go to 4,500. Where have you heard that number before? Bank of America's target is 3,500 an ounce for gold. And that's from China insurance companies, central bank buying, and trade wars. So Bank of America's March 25th this year gold report entitled Gold Plating Guns and Cannons presents a multifaceted thesis for a sustained rise in gold price. Where have you heard this before? And I'm not patting myself on the back, but what I'm saying is Wall Street is doing the education first of your brokers, and then your brokers are going to start moving your assets into gold and silver. It takes a while to educate, but the first quarter is almost over, or it is over. So Bank of America raises its long-term price forecast for gold long-term to 3,500. Like I've said, I think that happens, that could happen in 90 days or sooner. And they provide an institutional framework. So all of your well-coiffed brokers can come to you and tell you how smart they are. All right, here comes the first chart. Here comes the teardrops. Bitter they are, the harder they fall. So this is NASDAQ in dark navy blue, down, gold in sky blue, and you know, this is a golden cross, literally. Bank of America's report breaks down the thesis of gold going higher across three structural vectors: the emergence of new sovereign and quasi-sovereign gold buyers, in other words, governments, central banks, the impact of trade and monetary policy on the US dollar causing weakness, and the rejection of frameworks such as the Mar-a-Lago Accord. The world is rebalancing, and gold is at the center of the new world. So number one, the core thesis, 3,500 with structural demand expansion. The opening paragraph of the Bank of America report formalizes Bank of America's upgrade to $3,500 gold price target. I don't know if you were listening to me, but I gave that to you a long time ago. Contingent on a 10% increase in investment demand. Oh, these guys can't get out of bed without being afraid of their shadow. Analysts, I mean. The headline target is straightforward, but the significance lies in how the bank quantifies that demand across three areas, three parties. One, Chinese insurance companies. Chinese insurance companies are new buyers of gold with a mandate to buy 300 tons of gold. Secondly, central bankers are set to, in this thesis, set to triple their purchase of gold over the next several years. Some banks like Russia are buying silver, triple the purchase of gold over the next several years. And then retail investors, you sucker, peak buying adds an additional $600 to the price. I hate it. I hate it. They're so precise, yet they're such fraidy cats. Gold is going much higher than 3,500. It's probably going to 35,000. But anyway, we work with the framework we have. So each of these three, when combined, justify a 10% demand increase. Oh, we're ever so precise, ever so careful. The Chinese insurance industry is expected to allocate 1% of their assets to gold, which is equivalent, believe it or not, to 6.5% of the annual global gold market. That's pretty high. Central banks hold approximately 10% of their reserves in gold, and central banks are projected to increase that allocation to a third, almost a third, based on portfolio optimization principles. Yes, you need to know the portfolio optimization principles so you can hire me to write a report, and I can have the office just down the hall, and I can get 3 weeks vacation. And anyway, retail investor flows into physically backed ETFs have also resumed, up 4% year to date. Having hit our long-term price target, Bank of America says, of 3,000 per ounce, we believe gold could rally to 3,500 if investment demand increases by 10%. I don't know where you heard 3,000 and 3,500 and 4,000 and 4,500 and 5,000 first, but Merrill Lynch is telling you it could go to 3,500 if demand increases by 10%. So this is the breakdown of investment demand. The navy blue is bars and coins. The sky blue is ETFs. And the golden color is central bank buying, basically government buying. So they go through the quarters of 21, the quarters of 22, the quarters of 23. Actually, they went through the quarters of 2020 as well. And now last year. And you can see that in 2020, their ETFs bought a lot. And I guess that's probably the COVID time. But then that shrank back down. It went negative. The sky blue went negative. And there was steady I don't know what you call that, investment demand in bars and coins. And there was reasonably steady. It looks a little lumpy. Central bank demand until we got to the Joe Biden response to Russia, which was under Anthony Blinken, a total idiot, to use the SWIFT system as a way of getting back at Russia. Well, it created demand for gold and a de-dollarization. So you see from the third quarter of 22 onward, central bank and government buying has been big. It's been big. The ETF demand only came back in after NVIDIA collapsed at the end of the year and the beginning of, I don't know, the third quarter. I don't think it collapsed, but it had a little bit of a rally. But anyway, ETF demand's not there, so the retail's not in. It's not in. You got plenty of time. All right. Central bank buying portfolio. Oh, God, I hate. Let's skip some of these words. The most analytically rigorous section of the Bank of America report is central bank accumulation. I'll try to skip some of their stupid wording. The report explicitly states that central banks may pursue 30% gold reserve allocation, up from 10%, as part of a broader plan. Using some theory, Bank of America argues that the increasing gold exposure will enhance returns. All right, no shit, Sherlock. Central banks currently hold about 10% of their reserves in gold, which could raise this figure to 30% to make their portfolios more efficient. We always want an efficient portfolio. All right, then third, the twin deficits and policy dislocation is a gold catalyst. America's twin deficits, the budget and the current account, are direct catalysts for dollar debasement and gold appreciation. And they're going to blame Trump. Trump-era trade policies, particularly tariffs, are not seen as temporary distortions, but the beginning of a structural adjustment. Look, I don't think they understand tariffs, but maybe I don't. Maybe I don't. But tariffs are once. I was taught that with inflation, for example, if businesses can plan on inflation being, pick a number, 3%, 5%, 2% every year, they can live with it. They can make plans. It's the unpredictability of it that screws everything up. And a tariff, boom, it's done. I could be wrong on that, though. All right, so let's see. I didn't save this chart for you, so I'll skip that chart because I didn't save it for you. Then they talk about the rejection of the Mar-a-Lago Accord because it's not a plausible solution. The Bank of America report decisively dismantles the so-called Mar-a-Lago Accord, which is a proposed modern version of the 1985 Plaza Accord, which was one in a series of meetings after Bretton Woods to update the financial structure of the world. The Mar-a-Lago proposal envisioned a coordinated weakening of the US dollar alongside extending Treasury maturities to 100 years. I don't know why we didn't do that when interest rates were negative. So quoting the report, in contrast to the Plaza Accord, not all US allies are partners. Not all trade partners are US allies. Let me find it. Here it is. Not all U.S. trade partners are allies. The proposed Treasury maturity extension is effectively a default through a back door. But look at this chart. I said this to you last week out of my own brain. I didn't need Bank of America. But the Plaza Accord, you had Japan, Canada, Taiwan, Germany. It's very likely in the new accord, even if all these countries met with Trump, it wouldn't have any impact. The new accord is going to include countries, according to Bank of America, like Mexico, Vietnam, China, Germany is still there. And so the Mar-a-Lago, we're living in this belief we still are the only place. We're an important place, but we're not the only place in the world. So Bank of America dismisses the Mar-a-Lago Accord on 3 grounds: lack of multinational or multilateral alignment, reputational damage from Treasury market manipulation, and the absence of geopolitical trust. All right, ETF flows and retail participation. This is the big swing variable. While sovereign and institutional demand for gold forms the structural base, ETF flows represent the tactical driver. Do you see how they make retail demand is going to go into ETFs? ETFs are a slush fund for Wall Street to steal from you. But anyway, they are nice trading vehicles. They do that. I have to agree. Bank of America notes a 4% year-to-date increase in physically backed ETF purchases. Or I think I have that here. I think. Here it is. Here it is. So the blue is assets under management in ETFs, and the navy is the price of gold in dollar terms. And do you see how assets in ETF, it's really weird. They go down when the price is at 2,000. I guess people didn't like it. I guess it was the NVIDIA effect. And then they kind of went up with the price, but now it's crossing, and I think you're going to see more demand. Year-to-date flows and assets under management. Look at the change. It's North America and Europe because we're so far behind the 8 ball. Asia and other places already own gold. We have less than 0.5% of our assets, financial assets, as retail in gold and silver. So Goldfix, which is an interesting website too, their estimates suggest a return to early 2022 ETF levels of assets could add $600 to $1,200 to gold's price. This guy's just being too, all right. I shouldn't make fun. At least it's out there supporting. Do you know how big Merrill Lynch is? 20,000 brokers. They haven't talked about owning gold in 20 years, 30 years. You're hearing about it early. Gold, silver, platinum, palladium. Macro landscape, policy mismanagement, and the Powell dilemma. The Fed remains a wait-and-see organization navigating between inflation control and recession avoidance. Trump's tariffs complicate the equation, introducing policy misalignment between fiscal and monetary arms. Quote, differing views highlight again that United States authorities are implementing a set of policies that are at stages not entirely aligned. One reason gold keeps pushing higher. Gold is going higher because the rest of the world doesn't want the dollar anymore. And we've chased them off the SWIFT system. And the physical gold is going to the east. And we're playing catch up, but you're ahead of the game. You're going to be your own central bank. The misalignment injects policy down volatility into risk markets, reinforcing gold's role as a stabilizer. These guys are so important. They're so impotent. All right, I'm going to go back to the comments. And conclusion. That's what you wanted to hear. Bank of America's report is not just an upgrade in the price target, it's an institutional validation. It's an admission and a confirmation of gold's structural bull market. And that's what I've been trying to tell investors and friends and you, that coming around to the new year, Wall Street needed a new place to go. And it's going to be the resources. It's going to be. There's a wall of cash out there, and they're going to put 25,000 Merrill Lynch brokers on the case, making the calls, telling their clients to move the money. And this is the beginning of it. And gold will go to 10,000. The miners will go up. They'll start telling you to buy Newmont Mining and to buy Barrick Gold and to buy Anico Gold and to buy Franco-Nevada and to buy Silver Wheaton. It's called Wheaton Precious Metals now. You've been hearing about it from me, but I wish I had started earlier with you guys. I wish we had had more money to invest. So it's a confirmation of gold structural bull market. But this report also, its value lies not in the price target alone, but in its methodology, that I just made fun of. Quantified, multi-source, and historically anchored, whether through sovereign reserve diversification, central bank buying, insurance industry mandates, or a shifting macro landscape. The case for 3,500 is grounded in the realignment of global capital. Oh, shit. The Mar-a-Lago Accord is dismissed as theatrics. The real accord is already happening between inflation risk, geopolitical fragmentation, and the rise of multipolar monetary policy regimes. Gold, in this view, is no longer a hedge. It is a monetary ballast in a world shifting beneath its feet. So call your Merrill Lynch broker. Analysis, the Bank of America 3,500 price target report breakdown. So anyway, enough of that. But this is what's happening. You know, guys like me, we're off in the Looney Tune space, and now all of a sudden, because Merrill Lynch says do it, now I can do it. Well, you can still act. There's still plenty of room to go. There's still plenty of room. Hey, grazie, grazie, grazie. Yeah, I'm only going to go for another 15 minutes or so. 15 minutes. That'll be what I go. A lot of Christians prophesized the biggest stock market crash in history in April. It looks like it could happen. Well, I was going to talk about that today, but I turned off so people could go listen to him, which is great. I'm more than glad to do that. But I think you could be right, obviously, or the Christians could be right. But I actually think the correction is over. It's been bad. I mean, we're down 10, 20%. It bear market in some things, but I think it's over. I showed, I think, this chart yesterday. You're starting to see a turnaround in the MAGA 7 stocks. And I could be wrong, obviously, but I think we're seeing the end of the correction. And what's most likely is that there's going to be a lot of liquidity put in the market. There is a lot of liquidity. Trump's scaring people, and that dynamic of the market, foreign money, is kind of wondering, what do we do? But I think there'll be one more buying frenzy, I guess, feeding frenzy of buying. And I think the market is going to go to its, what's the word? It's parabolic. It's going to be a parabolic ending of the bull market, which started approximately the same time as my career started. I wish my life had been so parabolic, but I think you're going to see, let's just talk about the S&P. I think it'll go up 2,000 points, and it could go up it could do that by September. On the other hand, it could take until January, or it could take a year. But I think it could happen very quickly. It's gonna get everybody emotionally wanting to be in the market, and that's when a lot of the stuff we're thinking about probably should be implemented, like selling, and going to silver, going to gold. But American Truther, if the bond market gives up the ghost, then I'm wrong, because the stock market's much smaller than the bond market. I don't think it is going to. In fact, I think there's going to be a rally in bonds too. But we have a lot of unexpected nightmares out there. There's a book called Guns of August by Barbara Tuchman. And I don't remember, I can't remember everything that happened leading up to World War I, but I remember the overall theme of it. There was a lot of mistakes made because of lack of communication, misunderstandings. That was a stupid war that never had to happen. And that's something that's coming up here. I think Europe's going to go to war. I think Europe's going to go to war. There's a lot of hatred of Russia, but there's also stupidity. I think they're going to go to war with Russia. They're going to lose. I hope Trump keeps us out of it. And it looks like he will. But then, whether Israel is our, pulls our nose like they have the ring in our nose, or if we're prodding Israel to do our own dirty work, I don't know. But Trump, it does seem to want to go to war in the Middle East and kill brown-skinned people by the score on behalf of a war criminal, according to international indictments, Benjamin Netanyahu, who I will tell you all of his life is a fabricator and a liar and a greedy son of a bitch. He's always had the goal of everything he says is just to get us to pause while he continues his goal of wiping out an entire population and stealing their land. And it's not just Gaza, it's not just Palestinians, it's Lebanon, it's Syria. He wants it all. And I don't see the difference between him and other people in history, but they play the victim card while they're the bully. Whilst they're the criminal, they play the victim card. And Trump's falling for it. And it looks like we're going to attack Iran, and we're going to find out what we're for. All you need is one of our aircraft carriers to go down, and the world will go, oh my God, they can't protect us. Or our bases are attacked by hypersonic missiles that we can't shoot. I don't know. But this is the kind of thing. Now, I will give Trump credit that he seems to always have a strategy and he knows things before others. So maybe that'll end up being okay. I've told you the risk that China may only have. I can hardly believe it. I can hardly believe it. That's right. But China might only have 400 or 500 million people. It may not have that many more people than we do. That would be a shock to the world if that is true. And it looks like they lost a lot of people. China invading Taiwan as China goes through its own end of empire dreams, as we are. They always take you to war to keep themselves in power, to keep them able to steal. And we're run by the banks. Make no mistake about it. We're extremely financialized. And I don't know what our ideals are anymore. We don't have integrity in journalism. We don't have integrity in our elite schools anyway. We don't have integrity in our Congress. We don't have integrity in our financial markets or even our brokerage firms. We don't have integrity in our military. We don't have integrity in the food we eat. We don't have integrity in our medical systems. What the heck has happened to our country? I don't know. And we have corruption. I remember one of my government professors talking about how the United States, he put the question out, and I don't think I guessed it. I usually got answers, but I'm not sure I got this one. He pointed out that one of the great gifts that the United States of America has in business, in government, in social structure is we don't have corruption. We have such a tiny bit of corruption, and but you know what? That's all changed. It's all changed. And it's because of the financialization. It's because of a handful of men running the country. and some women. I think it's the feminist movement as it morphs into this hyper feminism. I'm not against equality and all that. It's just this everyone deserves the same result, not the same opportunity, the same result. And how did Samantha Powers make $60 million? How does Maxine Waters make all of her money? It's all corruption. Nancy Pelosi, God. The people of Europe won't fight these leaders for democracy. I agree with that. I have a friend in, I don't know where she is now, but she was in London when she told me this. Her heritage is German Spanish. She said nobody's going to go to fight. They're not going to fight for, because I had suggested that war was coming, and she said they're not going to fight. Young people are not going to fight. And in fact, there's news stories in Ukraine that they might start impressing, I think that's the word, impressing young people into the army. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All for this insanity. It's insane. And if we drop nuclear weapons, or if Israel's existence is threatened, I think they'll do it. It's frightening, guys. It's frightening. But I told you all that story about when I went to confession, and he gave me one Hail Mary for each decade. I thought, wow, I got off easy. But the big part of what he told me as my penance is to pray for peace. And I do it a lot now. I talk to you about it. Because I think that's what he was telling me. The burden that I have is to talk about peace. And I do it willingly, but I think that was my penance. Is the market going to crash 50% this month? What do you think, Sagi? What do you think? What do you think? No, I don't think so. I'll tell you what I think. I think the stock market is going to start a rally right around now. It's going to climb a wall of worry. And I think over the next, I think by September, the stock market could be up 30, 40, 50%. Up. I think silver's headed to 120. I think gold's headed to 5,000. I think the Dow could go to 65,000, maybe 70,000. Huge numbers, just way up. Once that happens, though, I think the market could collapse, maybe not in a day, but in a heartbeat. The market could collapse 50%. And maybe what I think, maybe 90, 95%, 85, 90, 95%. I think the Fed will come to rescue it all one more time. I think the Fed's balance sheet will go to 100 trillion as long as people still, for some reason, trust dollar-based assets. But when people stop believing in that, you're going to want to, I hope, Sagi, by that time, you're no longer doing your short selling business, and you've actually learned to trade. You might actually have to work. You might have to, wash your hands after you do your work. I don't think, Sagi, you're going to be able to sit in a little office and intellectualize and have arguments and collude with your buddies and short stocks and make money as if it's manna from heaven. I think those days will be over. Although you'll probably make such a fortune when the stock market collapses that, you know, you'll be laughing at me. No, Ham had a call. Ham had a call. And I signed off so you guys could go on to it. And so he's not coming on, I guess. Unbelievable. Women, it's just terrible. What's the whaling line? I'm down to my last shuck with nothing to lose but the pain. Oh, ride me down easy, Lord, ride me on down. Leave word in the dust where I lay. Say I was easy come, easy go, and easy to love when I stay. All right, so it's 5, I got 2 minutes. I'm gonna sign off unless there's a question. You can hear Ham on Twitter, I think. I think they saved the call there. I'm going to quickly look at the prices of Finger. Finger closed at 145, up 5 cents. Great. It 140 proved to be support so far, so that's good. GBUX. Oh, ride me down easy, Lord, ride me on down. I don't know why I can't get a quote. There, go there. She stood beside me, letting me know she would be. GBUX is down 44 cents at 556. And NIXX 183 up 10 cents. Something to lean on when everything ran out on me. Fenced yards ain't whole cars, and like is not, never will be. Reason for rhymers and old 5 and dimers like me. Old 5 and dimer is all I intended to be. Why did Newsmax go up? Is that a serious question? Is that a serious question? Why did Newsmax go up? I don't know. Maybe it saw a pretty girl walking down the street. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. All right, it's 5:16. Let's see if there's a headline on Trump, and then I'm going to sign off. And we'll catch up tomorrow. I got to go meet my sister for dinner. Trump shocks the world as he lays out sweeping Liberation Day tariffs, attacking cheaters. You know, he's not totally wrong about some countries. He's not totally wrong. Wall Street stocks dropped like a stone, wiping trillions off the value of 401ks in minutes. I don't believe that. This is the daily hate. U.S. stocks plunged in after-hour trading. Futures tracking the S&P 500 dropped 2%. That's not a plunge. It's not a plunge. It's not a plunge. This is hysteria that the press is trying to get at Trump. You got to stop believing in the system. You can't believe in all the things you used to believe in. We got to do it ourselves for a while, and then we'll coalesce around the idea of what America is and the world is again. All right, so I'm going to sign off. I've got to get ready. So peace, love, and happiness. Hug your children. Play with your dogs. Pet your cat if they let you. And be thankful for birds song. Pray for Robert Weiss. Pray for Jenny L. And pray for all the children caught in a war zone. And I'll see you tomorrow. Ciao, Bella.